Okay, how does patriarchy free women? Biblical patriarchy. How does that equal freedom for women? Should be the opposite, right? I mean, you're under the authority of somebody else. How would that ever be freedom? Well, trust me, God had us all in mind when he created the hierarchy, which is patriarchy. It's biblical. And he had men in mind, he had women in mind, he had children in mind, and it's beneficial to all if done correctly. The mosquitoes are starting to get me. So first of all, I believe it frees your mind. It frees your mind from worries and cares that otherwise would take up space in your head and in your life. When I was growing up, I didn't care about politics. I didn't care about government. I didn't care about economics. I didn't care about what else? Current events. I was really not into any of that stuff. I would try to keep up with it, but it wasn't in me, that. Now, like I said, there are women that are really into current events, etc., etc., but that wasn't me. And I'm pretty sure, I will take a guess that most women don't really care for it too much. And it's sort of more of a masculine thing to want to be up on all that stuff, to be able to protect your family, lead it, all of the things that a man has to worry about, providing, that's all going to fall into all these other categories. Now, a woman naturally wants to create and nurture. She wants to create beauty in her home, in her life, in her immediate surroundings, and I think that's what comes naturally to her. So when you're told that you have to learn all this other stuff, you don't have room. You don't have freedom to grow those other creative talents and abilities. And when you have to be working, that you have to be working outside the home, and you're definitely going to be have less time to create and nurture and build that home that you want. We see proof of that all over the place with all the problems that women have, and depression and all this stuff that are having to work and also be mothers and wives. So anyways, it also frees your emotions. When you're in a patriarchal marriage and you have to learn how to be submissive, that takes a lot. That takes a lot of strong care. You have to build strong characteristics like selflessness and all of those fruits of the spirit that are listed. You've got peace, joy, love, peace, self. Oh my gosh, I just said it. On my first run through, I just said it. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Right, there we go. You're giving of yourself. You're denying yourself. You're living, walking, talking, and breathing the gospel message of denying yourself and taking up your cross, and which is exactly what we're told to do in the Bible for everyone. And so you're really, and that leads me to my next point, is that by doing all this, learning how to control your emotions by your husband's guidance and leading, say your budding wills, your wills are in conflict and you have to back down, which that's what submission means. You're steady learning and growing and becoming more godly. And he's helping you do that because he's the one he's guiding and leading and correcting and disciplining. And just as we as parents do that with our children, the husbands are doing that with their whole family. They're leading them, and someday they're going to give an account. They're going to stand before God and say, "Look, this is what I did with the family that you gave me." And either they're going to do a great job, and they're going to get patted on the back and welcome in. And so anyways, we know how that turns out, and so that frees us from our mind, our emotions, and frees us from our sin nature. And I know that Christ ultimately frees us from our sin nature, but what the husband is doing is similar. He's teaching, he's leading, he's guiding, and he's helping us to overcome our sin nature, which is, the opposite of what the current situation is in the society that tells us it's all about you, it's all about, or me, it's all about me, and it's all about meeting my needs and fulfilling my needs, and if you're not making me happy, then I'm moving on, and all this stuff, it's me, me, me. So patriarchy, you're upfront, and you're confronting those selfish emotions and selfish sin natures, and you're learning how to overcome. So you're overcoming your sin nature, and you're becoming more and more free from that, which is beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful thing when you can be at peace and have love and joy and all these things that the world does not have. And the last thing, and this is what really made me start thinking about it this morning when I was in the garden, was that women can have natural relationships with each other. This is sort of like an extra blessing. Women in modern society have a hard time getting along with each other, don't they? There's a lot of like this weird backbiting or backstabbing and whatever. So with women in patriarchal marriage, we know that our beliefs are a direct reflection of our husband's beliefs. So we can be completely in a natural relationship with them, in calm and peaceful. And we know that if there's any differences, it's not us, it's our husbands. So they're the ones that has to hash it out and whatever, do the big theological debates. We can talk, we can have opinions and debates and whatnot, but ultimately we know that we're a reflection of our husband. So it's not really this woman that's sitting across from you that's got these crazy beliefs. It's her husband, right? And so we can be more natural with one another, and I think that's totally cool. And I just was thinking about that in this morning, and I was like, yeah, that's an extra benefit of patriarchy, is this natural ability to get along with each other. And so anyways, this is yeah, I think I covered everything. I'm looking at my notes. I always got to have my notes. Patriarchy equals freedom for women. I am so glad that God has put me in a patriarchal marriage, and I pray that my daughters one day will as well, because there's no better way. This is God's way, and we see the blessings from it every day. I mean, every day it's when you can be free from all of these worries and cares, free from what the world is telling you you're supposed to care about, free from your emotions and your sinful nature. I mean, all these things are going to result in just a lifestyle that is full of beauty and joy and fulfillment. And it's something that the world they can't duplicate. They can't get that any other way. So I just pray that y'all are blessed today and blessed this weekend. And that's it for me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.